You know, the craziest thing to me is that the only people that are doing this type of series anymore, or seasonal anime impressions, are basically the reaction channels. The reaction channels, which basically just have them watching a show, but like they put it in like super low quality, or like put images over it so you can't quite see the show. You know, those types of channels, and then you just watch their face the entire time, and you just see, oh my god, oh no way, whoa, whoa, you know, those types of people. Not to say their content is just straight up terrible, but I think that I can't really argue that it's that bad compared to what this is. This series is essentially me just giving my half-hearted opinions on shows I barely give 5 minutes to. So it's not representative of probably my actual ideas. Uh, if I had watched the show in full, which is probably not possible for most of these shows because a lot of them are unbearable, but like, you know, maybe some of them turn out good. But I just didn't stick around long enough to see. I'm pretty confident on most of my ideas though. It's just that, like, you know, this is a lazy form of content that only a select few people will even bother to watch. It's just like reaction channels. Like, they pull in views from people that are in a very niche audience. Some people like commentary, some people like analysis, some people like just watching another person analyze it for them, but in a live format like reaction channels do. And this is essentially the same thing except that like there's no face cam, there's also no like actual like images from the show that I'm showing you other than the cover art. So that's kind of cool, I guess. Or I mean, not very cool. It's just kind of a thing that exists. Anyway, seasonal anime impressions for fall 2021. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm doing it anyway. I don't really care. Three things I look out for: characters and character designs. I'll be spending hours of time with these people, so I better like their personality at the very least. Visuals, you know, in more recent times, I've actually substituted visuals for actually like setting, and if I even like the setting. Maybe next time I'll probably just swap over to setting instead of visual element because I don't even know if I care about the production values as much as like the next guy. I more care about like what's the premise and what's like the actual setting of the show. And probably the most important one I have is entertainment value. If it's not entertaining, probably not gonna watch it. It's just a pretty understandable rule. It's nothing really hard to understand about that one. So first up, Heike Monogatari. Naoko Yamada's departure from Kyoto Animation to make Heike Monogatari is an interesting one. I mean, I dropped it in one episode. I watched episode 2 up to like 4 minutes, I think, and then I just got bored of it. The problem with Heike Monogatari is that it's not entertaining nor interesting at the same time, and it also delves into or follows the problem I have with most Japanese folklore stories, like the Tale of Princess Kaguya, the Isao Takahata movie from Studio Ghibli. I just don't attach to any like Japanese folklore because, you know, like, one, I didn't grow up with the folklore. Two, it's just outdated and pretty uninspiring, if I'm being honest. Like, the premise of this show is unclear to me in a full episode and 4 minutes of the second episode. So, like, I'm already at a disadvantage when it comes to, like, what exactly I'm looking for in the show. Like, compare this to other Naoko Yamada works like K-On!, where the premise of the show is pretty much laid out in the first episode, and you're pretty clear on what the show is going to be, who our characters are. You know, like, there's tons of potential to go off of the first episode of K-On!, whereas Heike Monogatari is like, I don't see where this is going, pretty much. Like, I haven't touched the source material at all. I have no idea whether like this is based off something everybody in Japan knows or just like a niche subject. But like either way, it's not very interesting. I think I said another thing. Nothing of nobility happened in the first episode. Production isn't that impressive and tonally imbalanced. Yeah. Why does it say currently watching? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's dropped. Blue period. What do I even remember about this show? I don't even remember. What did I write? But 5 minute drop. Character designs and production suck. Is there anything more you want me to say? I really don't think I have anything else to say. Selection Project by Doga Kobo. I think I liked the last Doga Kobo show I watched was the Sleepy Princess show. I'm pretty sure they did that. Let me check. Uh who did Sleepy Princess? Oh yeah, they did do Sleepy Princess. Yeah, the last show I watched from Doga Kobo was Sleepy Princess, and then also Sing Yesterday for me. Sleepy Princess was alright. I'm actually a relatively alright fan of Doga Kobo as a studio, but I did not like this apparently. 5 minute drop poop. Not much to say. Megaton-kyuu Musashi by OLM. OLM should probably go back to making that second season of Berserk. I'll take. Don't remember much about this show. 3 minute drop. Horrible character designs. Really anything else you want to tell me? I don't think there's anything else I want to say. Oh, now we have a banger show. Yeah, you can't go wrong with this show. You really cannot go wrong. So, yeah, it's a 5 minute episode of a boy and another boy, and it's some steamy hot goodness. I don't think I even finished the full 5 minutes. Brilliant storytelling, instantly hooked. So yeah, definitely pick up this show if you're looking for a great show. I mean, this cover art tells you all you need to know. You really cannot go wrong with something like this, really. Deji meets girl. I actually was interested in the art a little bit, but it just seemed like I wasn't gonna enjoy it for multiple episodes, especially because like the characters seem kind of shallow and their character designs are not that great. Nothing happens. Production is mediocre but colorful. What's next? Mieruko-chan. Mieruko-chan. Uh, didn't like this show because the opening to this show, not like the opening song. Well, I'll get to that in a second, but like the opening scene for this is like setting up a really horrific and like just horrific imagery. Tone is really dark and gritty. It's got some really good, actual scary elements to it, and then it just cuts to this J-pop song that's poppy, and you're like, okay, just way to break the tone. Okay. Like I was kind of off put by that because like I feel like there's just not enough emphasis on like keeping a consistent tone for at least like the first 10 seconds before cutting to like a high school setting, which this show does. Like why can't we just stay in that like nice little pocket dimension for a second, and then after we see some real stuff, we cut to something more normal, I guess. But like I just don't like that. How I can just be like, wow, this might be interesting, and then just like J-pop OP comes in, like, oh, I see how it is. Sankaku Mado no Sotogawa wa Yoru, the night beyond the tri-cornered window. Uh, yeah. Let me see what I wrote. Cringe fest alert. Okay. I'm just gonna be going off what I said in my comments just to blaze through this. I don't want to be here as much as you do. Mute King the dancing hero. Someone tripping real hard to write this madness. 10-minute drop. characters are kind of ugly, but at least the show is lively but nonsensical. I misspelled nonsensical. The show was actually like an acid trip. I remember this. Um, maybe someone might be interested in watching like first 15 minutes, but like any more than that is just off-putting to me. Tesla note, like the car company, Tesla. CGI is butt. Half 2D, half 3D is boring. Google Drive slideshow. There we go. Digimon Ghost Game. I'm not a fan of the Digimon franchise. I've never like watched a Digimon like series in full. So it was kind of just like, I'm good. Digimon goes horror and not too good. 3-minute drop, production sucks. What can I say? Waccha PriMagi. Magi. Uh-huh. 30-second drop. Too bright. Classic. Showtime. Uta no Oneesan datte Shitai. Really emotional and awesome story. I cried at least 5 times. Sobs. Oh, I actually remember what this show is. Yeah, you really cannot go wrong with something like this. It's just a masterpiece, a modern masterpiece. Who would not? You can tell by how many members are watching this show that this is this is a contender for anime of the year. You just cannot compete. Can't compete. Tsuki to Laika to Nosferatu. 4-minute drop. 4 minutes of exposition of random BS time period stuff. Finally, a show I can actually talk about. Mushoku Tensei Season 2. Now, I was watching this episode with a friend, and we both have similar ideas when it comes to what we don't like about this show. One being, we don't like the otaku world commentary, especially how we cut to the main dude in like the real world, and he's like naked and stuff, and he's like a pedo or something like that. Like, I feel like all of that is completely unnecessary for the isekai genre. Like, we've already established that isekai is pretty much it's not on its way out, but it is pretty much a topic that is overdone to many and in many people's opinions. It's not like original what they're doing here. It's taking the real guy in the real world and making him like an older dude or like an otaku. Like, it just feels unnecessary to the overall plot, and it just divulges from like whatever which story we're trying to tell in the real world, and then like it feels like God in this Mushoku Tensei story is just a scapegoat or like a plot device to keep the story moving forward with like key tips, because like every time God gives the main dude a tip, like it totally changes the game, or either gives him something like in this first episode he gains like omniscience or something like that. Like, I feel like this is just the cheat code. And like in a perfect scenario, right? We just do what we did in the first couple episodes of season 1. Have some great world building, origin story, hero's journey, all that stuff like that. Like, we don't need to get a gift from God and do all this otaku stuff to explain why he's like in this. I just don't even understand what's the point. Like, what is the point of doing that when we already don't have enough context clues to understand what is going on right now? Like, there was an entire like end game situation in here, just like aliens invading. Like, I don't even know what's going on anymore. Like, it moved way too fast in those last 3 episodes of season 1 that it was like, what is even going on? And this episode for season 2 is the exact same thing. More otaku world commentary, more questions left unanswered. Just like we're just blazing through Just like it feels like we're blazing through like 50 chapters because like I feel like we skipped something, but apparently not. Not a lot happened in the first episode. Got some drama, set up elements for the next episode. Like this first episode wasn't impressive. It also just didn't hit the niche that I wanted. Because I felt like those introductory episodes for season one were just so good, and then just like now I'm just confused, which shouldn't be a thing. Like you have a great premise, you have some great characters, and then you also have just like stupid elements that I actually kind of like. Like I think that him being a 36 or however old he is in like a kid's body is an alright concept at best because one you have the I guess um I guess the waifu appeal for those really detrimentally down bad dudes. Um you also have like a ton of potential for like actual like decision making and like I guess like strategy since he's like a 36-year-old and not actually a kid and he's not like a beta. That's like some of the greatest elements about the show. Like that he's not a beta male. Like some of these character, some if he was a kid character, he would be like, "No, I'm so scared." Blah blah blah. You didn't have to go through this entire maturity arc. Like we skipped that maturity arc, and it's great because like I don't want to deal with that. Like it's so boring to me if I had to deal with that. Please do anything right challenge. Actually, extremely difficult nightmare mode. Kyuuketsuki Sugu Shinu. The vampire dies in no time. Drop at 3 minutes. Cringy spastic humor. Yep. Kyoukai Senki. AMA. AMA I am warrior. At the borderline. 1 minute drop. Opens with the worst exposition and war story BS. Almost fell asleep. Shinka no Mi. Shiranai. Uchi. Ni Kachikumi. Jinsei. The fruit of evolution. Before I knew it, my life had made it. Had it made. Corny, haha funny, naked girl moment. Nose bleeding. WTF, naked girl? Question mark, exclamation mark. Then Isekai context drop. Awesome. Yep. Pura Ore. Pride of Orange. Oh, it's this show. Okay, so this show actually had I dropped it at 5 minutes, but it was actually kind of funny for the beginning. It's like Love Live but on ice. It's like hockey. It's hockey Love Live for anyone that's interested in that one. But yeah, it was pretty entertaining, honestly. I only dropped it because I'm not into Love Live or not into idol shows in general. Oh my god, this name is so long. Shin no Nakama to Yusha no Party wo oida sarata no de Enkyo de slow life suru koto ni shimashita. Or, if you want to hear the English name, banished from the hero's party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. I was kicked out of the hero's party because I wasn't a true companion. So I decided to have a slow life at the frontier. Like, yeah. Imagine. Just there's a universe where I love this show and I give it a 10. There's a universe that exists. Such an innovative character design. Awesome exposition dump into boring character dialogue. 4 minute drop. Thank you, past me. Sekai Saikyo no Ansatsu Tsusha Isekai Kizuko ni Tenshi Suru. the world's best assassin to reincarnate in a different world, aristocrat. Oh my god, this is from the. I was looking forward to this show because it was made by the creator of Redo of Healer. But the unfortunate truth is that this show is just terrible. It's not even like power fantasy. The first like 5 minutes is like a slave auction for like 13-year-olds, and then like it cuts into like this totally. It just feels like two different shows in one episode that I'm actually just confused as to what's going on and like what to think of the actual show. It's just a cluster, man. It's not very consistently entertaining and has a weird tempo beat switch midway for some reason. I don't like the plot or characters, especially not our main dude. I would not recommend this show. Takt Op Destiny, Madhouse Mappa show. Uh, Already a terrible combo if I'm being honest. Like you already know the production level is gonna be there, but it's Mappa and Madhouse. How good can this actually be? It makes me wonder how you can have crazy production value on a show with ugly characters and no merit. It's just stale and uninteresting to the point that I wish it was a boring music show than what than it actually is, which is saving music by using a lolly fighter to defeat aliens. Gotta work on my grammar in these comments. Really embarrassing. Really embarrassing. Muv-Luv Alternative. 1 minute. Drop. All exposition and board. Sakugan. 5 minute drop. I was off put by the excited cringe voice acting, but I was even more turned off by the 9-year-old piloting mechas in a coal mine. It's crazy. Just absolutely insane. Komi-san. Wow. Really, really, really love this show because it has so much merit. Characters, so awesome. 3 minute drop, generic character designs, ridiculous heartthrob in less than 2 minutes with massive overreactions. Can't tell if the show is trying to be funny, boring. Platinum End. 2 minute drop, so dumb and overdramatic. Commits suicide in less than 2 seconds without us being informed as to why we should even care. I don't know a lot of shows that even pull that off, let alone before the OP plays. Shumatsu no Harem, World's End Harem, is actually a show that I actually want to keep watching, like partially. Um, the reason I want to watch this show is because I hope, dear God, that it even gets like remotely raunchy. Because like the premise of this show is brilliant. It's like on the level of like what I would want from a redo of Healers show or type of show. Except that our main character is a total beta and he won't do anything. Like in the first episode, it should have just been completely just bonkers, and I would have been on board right away. But like, I don't know why, but they're trying to blue ball every single viewer into thinking that like this is not a degenerate show from the very get-go. Like, if you're gonna be degenerate, at least follow up on, or at least embrace the genre you're trying to appeal to. Like, I think this show has a serious identity crisis in the idea that like it is literally a show about every single man pretty much being eradicated from the entire earth, and like there's only women left and there's one dude and he needs to procreate with all of them. Like, how can you have a beta main character in that type of premise? It just doesn't even make sense to me. Like, this would just seem like the perfect degenerate show if you just didn't have a beta main character. So I hope in the second episode that he drops this stuff immediately, because this show needs to pick up real fast or I'm gonna lose interest real fast. Visual Prison. 2-minute drop, stopped caring after the OP, was just name dropping 50 characters that I literally could not care about. Yeah, the OP was just like naming characters. Like, am I really supposed to care? Taisho Otome Otagi Banashi. So dramatic, it's comedic. The director thought that changing the aspect ratio was cinematic or something. Bro, nobody taking you seriously. Maybe you've had any clout, I would. What is my grammar here? Basically, my thoughts were like, nobody's gonna take this guy seriously because he like made the black bar thing. You know, he changed the aspect ratio and he thought he was a cool kid for that when it really just added literally nothing and it's just a stupid concept. Any director that does that is just really dumb, pretty much. Pretty much all of them. And also the main character is an edgy loser. So you already know how I feel about those. Saihate no Paladin. First minute and a half is an exposition dump of the finest order, and I'm not interested in fantasy right now, I guess. Senpai ga uzai kohai no hanashi. My senpai is annoying. So our main character is a green-haired lolly who is actually a chibi adult, and the premise is that someone at her work is annoying. I think I will have to pass. 4-minute drop. The first 3 minutes are staged quite well. I don't even want to bother going into what that even means. Shiki Zakura. It's crazy how a lot of shows like this start off with something interesting but immediately kill it with a reality check. Hey, just like that other show I was mentioning earlier. The CGI was average. Build Divide, Code Black. Do any of these directors know that dramatic shows often don't need to start with metaphorical BS in the first 5 seconds? Damn, I was mad. I was mad. Gyakuten Sekai no Denchi Shoujo. Another edgy loser character with a Neo Metropolis setting. Partial CG. Already not a fan. Choose one. Kagi Nado. Nado. I was actually pleasantly surprised by this one, even if just 4 minutes and pretty meaningless. It parodies Keyworks pretty well. Pretty well. Especially if you feel nostalgic for shows like Clannad, like I do. But it's nothing to follow or write home about. Deep Insanity. The Lost Child. Poggers. Exposition dump 10 seconds in. Osama. Osama ranking. Rankings. Ranking of kings. 8-minute drop. The production level is definitely there, but I feel like this show was made with the intent that no one would watch it. It feels so out of character in terms of more recent Wit Studio productions. But the main reason I do not care to watch is because after 8 minutes, our main character's only words are because he's a kid and he's deaf. See what I mean? Yeah. How does this show have an 8.72? Maybe it picks up? I don't know. Maybe people are just Wit Studio, just apologists or something like that. I don't see a future for this show, especially if the main character's only words are just gonna be like what a silent like it like there's nothing gonna be I would write home about characters like these. Like a silent voice, the main chick, like is she really a top 10 character for anybody because of her performance? Like I don't think so. Neither is this dude. Like I feel like an actor fully capable of performing like actual words is just like and then they're doing like deaf sounds or like what deaf people talk like, it's just not like an impressive performance. Is that a hot take or anything? Am I being insensitive? I don't know. Like, I just feel like why would I write home about a show like this? I feel like nobody's gonna watch this other than there's like 63,000 members. That's barely anything for a Wit Studios show. Like, and it already manages to be an 8.72. I just feel like people are just coping. This is just a Wit Studio apologist show. Like, I don't even know who's directing this. Who's directing this? Yosuke Hasa. Like, who is this guy? He hasn't really done anything. Like, he's been an episode director, storyboarder. Like, this is his first directorial debut. He's rank 41. Really? I mean, unless he's like Hayao Miyazaki, I don't see a reality where that even happens. And I think Ponyo's even lower than this, which is just a crime team humanity. 180 Bio de Kimi no Mimi wo Shiawase ni Dekiru ka. This is the ASMR show for down bad dudes who want um anime voice actors to whisper in their ear. It was very it's not like creepy, but it's like this yeah, you already know what this show's for. Like it's not anything anyone's going to take seriously. And I'm pretty sure that's the last show of the season. It is. I'm actually gonna watch Star Wars Visions as well, but I haven't started it yet because I don't even know if it's listed in this season on Mal. But yeah, that's it. Only two shows made it past screening. Like actually, just one show made it past screening. Like the second show, which is the World's End Harem show, is barely there. Like if the second episode doesn't pick up in less than 3 minutes, I don't think I'm watching the rest of the show. Mushoku Tensei, I feel like could be also a drop. Like this season is super underwhelming. It's just nothing here for anybody. Like I just don't see a future for like most of these shows, and then I just don't see a future to the shows that actually like even mildly were impressive. Like to call these shows impressive is like a mild overstatement. No, I mean not mild, but major overstatement. Like I did not enjoy Mushoku Sensei's first episode this season, and I mildly like enjoyed World's End Harem only for the prospect that it might turn into something raunchy. Like these are just hopes and dreams that are going to be crushed. I know it. But yeah, I just wanted to blow through this real quick because this season is terrible, and there's if I went just and put myself in depth and stuff like that, it's just like there's no reason to. This season sucks. It's like worse than the season beforehand. There's nothing I would ever even recommend. I literally won't even recommend anything this season. If you watch nothing this season, you will be missing out on literally nothing. You will miss out on nothing. So don't feel bad if you don't watch anything. But yeah, uh, that'll be it. Thanks for watching.